Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Astral Chain. We have our first sighting of a Jenna Anderson in the wild. We're going to attempt to get close enough to observe her in her natural habitat, which is the middle of Crosswalk. Holy shit, they're like GTA cops! So by the way, I replayed the chapter with different control schemes. They are not good.
Hang on, I'm running this by the commander. Wait, it's too dangerous to follow her.
The button layout, the default one, is actually pretty smart because left is all about summoning and controlling the Legion, whereas right is all coded towards you and your attacks and dismissing the Legion. So there is a clear delineation between the two sides of the controller for which corresponds to what.
Do you read me? Come on, I just told you not to do that. But since you already dove in, you may as well try to find Jenna. I can't get a hold of her signal. Stay on alert. This might be a trap.
Oh, it's a turbo trap. It'll be fine, however. This is really going to lean heavily on our newly acquired... Ooh. Usually the hitbox is a little more generous, so I thought I could just sweep right by the side of it. This is going to lean more heavily on the newfound ability that we have with our Arrow Legion we picked up in the last file. Oh, that's a pretty cool sync attack. There are an unbelievable number of unique sync attacks. So we had our reminder of what the Arrow Legion's unique ability is. With the last section, now we're getting into a new concept, which is hitting multiple targets in quick succession and having to maintain some level of accuracy. And then we'll start to do even more new cool things in the next segment here in the Astral Plane. And then we'll start actually combining the abilities of the Sword Legion and the Arrow Legion, and that's gonna get really fun. Oh yeah, there's this too. I think this is sort of nifty. So we have to have the Sword Legion... I think that's gonna go right through him. Yeah. Oh no. I don't know if we can get away with fully charging this, though. On just one go. Nah, they're gonna turn their attention towards him finally. The bar on this will rapidly deplete while it's not being analyzed by the Sword Legion. I think we're probably, it looks like, yeah, we're probably going to have to clear this first wave of enemies out. Normally, Kamiya yeah, he's going to go right through me. We get the sync attack off the recovery animation up. What makes this fight actually pretty cool is that in subsequent waves, you're meant to just protect the Legion while he analyzes the thing. Like, you want him to go straight from 0 to 100 with no interruptions. So it's mainly about distracting the enemies long enough for him to do that. Also, wait, yeah. Got the invincibility frames from the finishing animation, as one of them was charging right through me. Otherwise, we would have been stuck in that sync attack animation. That little flurry of blows that follows the sync attack you get off of the successful chain bind. So we're going to have to clear him out, and then finish analyzing this while more enemies spawn. And then we will use our player character to keep them off of the Legion. Kind of a neat take on this style of, not really a puzzle, just this pretty commonly seen sequence. So in the game right now, there are 5 Legions, of which we have 2. We have the Sword Legion and the Arrow Legion so far, and we've already seen some ways that the game as a whole, and the combat specifically, unfolds, just switching back and forth between the two and juggling their unique abilities and their active skills. Now imagine if you could just capture one of every enemy in the game, because that was the idea when this was initially in development. It was going to be like Pokemon. Or actually, I guess Ni no Kuni might be a little bit of a better comparison. Or hell, even the old version of the Warlocks enslaved demon spell in WoW. But Pokemon is the one everyone knows. They changed it to fewer legions that could do way more stuff. So all they really did was trade out breadth for depth. Because you can't have just like 20, 30, 40 different legions, all with the amount of depth that the legions of the game have now. That's pared down to 5. That would be an ungodly amount of resources they would have to dedicate to that. And PlatinumGames do not sell well enough for that shit. It would also just be, like, overwhelming for the player. It would actually just be too much. So the system they have in place now works pretty well. Oh, in between this idea of capturable legions and what we got in the final game, they did a whole lot of experimenting in that interim. Like just opening up the array of legions that you could pick up, and then slowly whittling that field down to 5. But most of the legions which were cut did become enemies anyway. Like those support chimeras, the little orb bastards that shield the other ones. That was going to be one of them. It was going to be a defensive type of legion. And then plenty more that we'll see later. Oh no, we let that one get away. I don't know if these are going to time out. There you are. We have to shoot it quick. Oh no. Haste makes waste. Luckily it went fine. If we were in danger of timing out the other orbs, could have gone into focus mode, so that was fine. But yeah, that was the first time that we've actually had to combine both Legion's abilities. We used the Sword Legion's Slash to get through the walls, which revealed one of the little floating orbs to hit with the arrows. And we'll get a bunch more of that from here on out. This one is more of a timing puzzle. There's something that I appreciate about the red matter, and it's that it keeps the legions, there we go. Perfect. Keeps the legion's meter overcharged. So it's not entirely worthless. You get a little money from doing it. Plus, I think that chime is satisfying as hell. So once again, she disappears on us, displaying an ability that we have not seen from any other humanoid character so far. The ability to walk freely in and out of the Astral Plane. And in the meantime, leaves us with the first reasonably challenging fight of the mission against the Alos. The Alos have an astounding array of attacks. They have like a solid, a little shy of a dozen, I want to say, attacks that they can do. I've seen like 5 of them already in this fight. This is not the hard part of the fight, by the way. This is actually just the introduction to the enemy, so this is the easy part. That's the one I hate most of all. The tornado that tracks you isn't too bad. The fact that they can stun you with a number of their attacks is a little bit annoying. But no, the gusts they create that blow you around, that's the big pain in the ass. Now this is where things get tricky. Because there are a lot of these enemies, they have a lot of tracking attacks and homing attacks. And there are quite a few of them. And you have to finagle all of that while still getting in range to slash the barrier and deal with the support enemy. So now it's go time. I do not want him to get another one of those off. The Alos, by the way, were another concept for a Legion that just became chimeras. Pretty much every scrapped Legion design just became an enemy chimera. Now, you would think that these being flying enemies, you would normally want to just bust the gun and the arrow Legion out, but I actually like to send the sword Legion in because they will, when you send them in, track into the sky, and then you can just chain jump to them and start doing air combos. It's not always the most efficient, so sometimes I will, like this, pull my gun out, especially when the gusts are happening because you can't chain jump to them effectively, you get blown away right away. That's the fuck. When they charge up like that, that's the telegraph for like 4 shockwaves in a row, which stun you. I forgot about this enemy! I forgot there are 2 of these, and one of them just stays in the middle of the arena way up in the air the whole time. There we go. Caused me a little bit of grief there. I think the Alos are really fun. I think they're pretty cool enemies. Yeah, he interrupted me out of the chain bind. Seeing a lot of variety out of these two. Like, you can tell at one point they were gonna be Legions because of how big their moveset is. And just how detailed their designs are, too. Are we? No. I decided not to go through with the second follow-up sync attack. This should do it, though. This should get us down to just 1 in a second. Oh, maybe not. That's gonna be coming, so we have to dodge that. There we go. I think this is a really fun fight and a fairly challenging enemy. But that'll do it. Noticed I didn't really bust the Arrow Legion out all that much for this fight. I really do prefer the Sword Legion in this case. I actually, I'm not that big of a fan of the Arrow Legion, at least not until you get some of its later skills. Once you get deeper into that sphere grid tree, oh shit, some stuff opens up. I think that would have been an S if I had remembered the support enemy earlier.
Or on the Ark. You better come on back.
Also, I love how open Platinum is with their iteration process because I think it's really cool and interesting, and it also gives me a bunch of stuff to share. Like how they were going to have the designs of the legions change based on the gender of the main character, and they were also going to have legions have sort of talent trees that you could spec into and level up. Like one spec for a legion might have been a paladin or like a ninja spec or something. Back when this was envisioned as a medieval fantasy setting. And I think that's another way in which this kind of grew and branched out of the development of Scalebound. You can feel a lot of Scalebound's DNA in this.
Calling all officers at Harmony Square. Regroup at the designated area. Repeat, all officers regroup at the designated area. I'm sending you coordinates now.
So we're gonna clean up the city.
Do that. I've never seen anyone open a gate and go through like that, let alone come back on their own. Well, we'll worry about that later. Head on over to the rendezvous point.
Oh, and speaking of cleaning up the city, I got the, while I was playing off screen, replaying the mission, I got the beautification order completed. And I say that just to segue into the fact that, yes, I did start to clean up my order menu. I did start to turn some of those in. I wish the animation didn't take so long for doing that, by the way.
You made it. You've gotta be more careful. We're in a lot of trouble if anything happens to you.
Hey, come on now. I know we all want to catch Jenna as soon as possible. She caught us off guard before, but we won't let it happen again. She can't get away from all of us.
At least you... Never mind. Okay, we've got to figure out our next move. Akira, you put together what we know.
Roger. We know we're dealing with Jenna Anderson, but we don't know where she went. Let's see if we can figure it out. Lots of people say they saw a suspicious person in Harmony Square today. What did their reports have in common? And if you ask me, that woman in white must have been Jenna Anderson. Did anyone tell you about any strange phenomenon, and where they might have seen it happen? Yeah, Ark Mall. A lot of people mentioned Ark Mall to me too. So what was it that people saw around Ark Mall? Tentacles. Sounds too weird to be true. That's what the witnesses said, all right. Okay, now it gets really weird. Did you hear anything about a ghost? Right. Several witnesses said they saw a ghostly suit of armor haunting the mall too. Sounds like nonsense, but... that's about all we know for now. Our best bet for finding Jenna is to check out Ark Mall. Let me know when you're ready to go.
We're ready to go right away. I cleaned up a... How is that not S+? What are the criteria for S+ing that?
Alright, we're taking the search to Ark Mall.
Maybe I didn't answer the questions quickly enough?
We'll definitely get Jenna this time. Come on.
I guess that's what it has to be. I even found out about Karen's special crystals that align her chakras. Doing, I think it was the dumpster side mission? Which is not really a side quest, it's just you find a dumpster and it is a portal into an astral plane and a small combat arena.
Entrance hall clear. Nothing to report.
Main plaza, clear. Nothing on our biosensors.
First floor, all clear. We haven't found anything.
Roger that. Mitsuru, Avery, Li Fong. Push deeper and see if anything turns up.
Roger that. We're going in.
HQ, we've got the first floor entrance all locked down. There's nobody here, but a lot of something I've never seen before. Some kind of goop.
This is HQ. Roger that, Jen. Keep going. Keep your distance from anything you don't recognize. It could be dangerous. Focus on finding Jenna.
We were
Alright,
we
let's
were
go.
just talking about this on the Moons of Madness stream last night. But there's always so much goo in sci-fi. There's so much goo everywhere.
What, a mall full of mystery goop not exciting enough for you? Stay frosty.
There is goo coming out of every crack and crevice in a sci-fi setting. I was hoping we would get, like, a rare material code or something over there. Ah.
Welcome! Nice of you to join the Union, dogs. I suppose you think you have me cornered, but let me assure you, you're here because I want you to be. This is all according to plan. Your master's done as he pleases for long enough.
Our master?
I still have a few more preparations to make. But don't worry, I've prepared entertainment. After all, what kind of hostess keeps her guests waiting?
HQ, we found the suspect. She's making a run for it. We're on her tail.
Jin, hold up there! I'm going down to help her!
Jenna's arrest is your top priority.
Huh? Roger that. I'm tailing the suspect. Eyes open.
Well, we'll catch up with Jenna and whatever we have planned for the end of the mission next time. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.